Greetings! How can you create more joy and creative freedom in your life right now?
And I'm Monique, darling.
I'm Cathy from the Intimacy Dojo.
I'm Peter Peterson from awakenedbodyandsoul.com.
And we're super excited to be joining you today and asking all sorts of questions around freedom and free will and being able to open up your heart and make more choices available in your life.
Where can they find you if they don't know you?
Where in the world's MoniqueDarling.com.
Awakenedbodyandsoul.com.
Yeah, and I loved what you were talking about when we were deciding what to shoot next. I think a lot of people get stuck in ruts and they're kind of just going through their lives, and it's so easy. I have fingers pointing back at me. There's things I do that I've just always done them that way, or it's become a habit, and that's not really freedom anymore. I'm not necessarily being the creative, most expressed person I can be. I'm just like, okay, I get up and I do this, and I kind of go through the motions, and that's not how I want to live my life. Life is amazingly short, and it can be so delicious if we're present and making conscious choices about how to direct it. But a lot of us don't even think about what we're doing day to day.
So Monique and I are professional pattern interrupters. We really love to bring light on behavior and how it's affecting and augmenting your life. And we love to talk about ways that can interrupt patterns that are keeping us in a rut and not leaving us very fulfilled or happy in our own lives.
Mm-hmm. So it leaves you having more choices to be able to live life on your own terms. Because so many of us have been told from parents and teachers and society and churches, this is how you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. I know that was me, and for many, like 33 years, I believed who I was as a person was wrong because I thought differently than what everyone around me was saying how I'm supposed to be. And so it's really one of my deepest passions is helping people be able to remember you have the right to question anything. And then being able to me, what freedom is being able to have the ability to respond at any given moment. Mm-hmm. And so if you trust yourself, if you're able to take apart the patterns that you have and the stories that are going on inside of your head that really make you react to what's going on, all of a sudden you have more space to be able to respond in any given moment, whatever's happening. And that to me is freedom because no one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that you can become more present and aware of your behaviors and your thoughts and your actions and deeds? What are some ways of becoming more present and waking up so that you can augment your life as you go and not have to be a victim of your circumstance?
Well, the biggest thing for me was listening to the voices in my head with a consciousness rather than, oh, big people can never, fat people can't do those things. Like, well, who said? Why? And then figuring out what was right for me to do, irrespective of the thoughts we have that will often hem us in. Like, nice people don't do that, or good people don't do that, or fat people don't do that, or women don't do that. Well, bullshit. I get to do whatever the hell I want to do.
Exactly.
And just kind of questioning what we're indoctrinated with. And then challenging it, and sometimes challenging myself in baby steps or big steps and going, I can do this, it's okay.
Yeah, we've all been programmed to think that we have these set of circumstances, mm-hmm. and that there's nothing that we can do about them. Like, oh, woe is me, this is my life, and there's nothing I can do to really change it.
And society at large really services people that are in victim mode. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden you get all this attention. You have when you're sick, everyone shows up at your door. Mm-hmm. Like there's all
which is wonderful, but you don't want to have that be a crutch mm-hmm. or something you grab onto.
But speaking of crutches, what about the pharmaceutical companies that literally don't really take care of the problem? They just put a little Band-Aid or a mask on it and make you feel like that you're better, where really you're not.
Or they invent, and I'm very grateful for many of the drugs that are out there, but like antibiotics and that sort of thing. But there's oftentimes they invent a drug. They find a drug that
right.
will do something, and they invent a cure or like an illness that you need to have, that you have, like whatever it is. Like, oh, you have this thing, so you have to take this drug so you can make money.
You have acid reflux, so you have to take this pill for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Really? That's to me
it's another pattern or habit.
Exactly.
There you go.
Right. So what do you do to create more awareness in your life?
For me, then, that started being able to recognize, like, becoming aware of when I was out of my body. So if I would disconnect from my body, it was so much easier to be in habits or patterns or things that people told me. So the more that I'm able to connect inward, then it's really simple to be able to feel what feels good in this moment. And I really feel like time is the one thing that is so precious to all of us. Yeah. And so why do we fill our brain and our time with all these shoulds and have tos? And, like, to me, again, that's the opposite of freedom. Yeah. And so if you can feel in your body, I don't want to be doing this, or I'm really enjoying this, then those are two completely different experiences, so that you can really be present with the people that you're with the experiences that you're having. And if you don't want to be there, stop. And whatever is happening inside of your brain saying, this is the way, you have to do this, it's being able to find the awareness, whether it's feeling inside of your body, whether it's listening to what's been trained into you. Yeah. It's finding that awareness of, I don't have to do anything. So what do I want to do?
Yeah. I was on autopilot for a long time until I discovered a moving meditation called Qigong. And it woke me up to my awareness that I'm like, oh, wow, I can feel this amazing and alive and passionate anytime I want when I move my body in this certain way. So we offer different ways and tools on how to wake yourself up to each moment every single day. And it's our passion. Monique and I get to travel around the world and teach our passion of waking people up and giving people the eternal invitation, like, hey, I'm alive. I don't need to do the same thing over and over every single day.
Well, and I'd love to get you guys on video doing some programs too, because I think there's a lot of people that don't live necessarily in areas where you are, but where you travel, or live near where I teach. And for me, the internet is such a blessing. And one of the reasons I love doing these videos is because how you grew up and how I grew up, I'm not sure about, but it was a very small community. And there was only really one way to do things, and you didn't have visibility or role models. And if we can learn from each other and even just know that's possible, it's like, it's the analogy I use is when I was in this camp one summer, and they gave us little coffee stirrer, the plastic coffee stirrers, and raw potatoes. And they're like, put the coffee stirrer through the potato. And we were all kind of trying to drill it through. And none of us were making a big mess. And someone came in and said, no, you just do this. And very confidently put it through. Immediately, all of us could do it because we'd seen one person do it. And so having role models and, tapping into people that are already paving the way will give you courage, and it helps your fearful part of your brain go, oh, maybe it's not so scary, and just know it's possible. And I don't want people to be trapped like you and I were without other options. So I really love that you teach this and you travel everywhere, and if you're here listening, thank you for breaking out of that.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
And so I encourage you to really go out and start gathering data and information, because for each of us, whether it's meditation, whether it's dance, whether it's geeking out with other intellectuals, like, it's really finding what is your niche in, what is your hack in, what is your way to be able to start finding the things that you love. And I was talking to these guys earlier when they said we want to do a video on freedom. There's so many people that think someone else has the answer or the way for them. It's never, in my experience, it's never about the how-to. It's what's in the way of you being yourself. And so only you can discover that.
And if you're blaming somebody else, maybe if you have small children or certain responsibilities, it is very hard. But I know that whenever I blame other people, it's that I'm feeling disempowered, and that I need to question some of my beliefs. Because there might be a neighbor that's willing to trade babysitting, or there are usually ways out of it. And if I'm blaming someone else, 99% of the time it's action I need to take.
Right. So don't wait to change your life. Don't wait for some giant wake-up call, like a heart attack or a car accident, or a friend coming to you and saying, hey, like, this relationship needs to change, or I'm leaving. Don't wait for those giant wake-up calls. You can wake yourself up every single day by doing something you really enjoy and love. So find like walking in the park, or dancing, or getting together with a sewing circle. I mean, cooking. I mean, these things are what create more presence and awareness in our life, and literally will change your life for the better if you become more aware of it.
And the one piece that I want to add, because it was a deterrent for me, and it's been a challenge along this road, is like, especially, so one example is that I've been a traveling teacher and a mother. And so there was so much judgment around, how dare you leave the house and leave your kids with their, with my husband, and not be that at-home mom, that I was doing something wrong by going out on the road. And so it was just, as long as I believed that, then all of their words would hurt me, and I'd cry, and I would try and justify and defend. And there came a moment that I'm like, no, this is really my path. And if I have every choice available, I am a mom. I'll always be a mom, but I choose to be on the road. Like, doing workshops is what feeds my being. And so there came a point where it finally switched in my own head that, no, I can actually parent on my own terms. So whatever that piece is for you, then there's going to be people around you that they don't want you to change, and often it's because by you doing something different, then they feel like they can't do that, and so then they're jealous or upset, or like it's really affecting. It's really challenging what they've been believing. So for you to be able to make peace, then it's really knowing that as you really live life on your own terms, and you're macheting your way through this own path that you're making, that it's sometimes going to be just you out there. And so find what you need to be able to make peace with that, and then it won't matter about the judgments or the things coming in from other people.
So your homework is be a scientist. Find out what really brings you joy, what brings you happiness, like what fills your heart up where you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this thing, and write it down. Get a little journal, or get a piece of paper and write it down and put it on your bathroom mirror or your refrigerator or dashboard of your car, and to constantly remind yourself, like, oh yeah, did I do this thing that I really enjoy and I'm happy about?
What's your one or two things?
Well,
Cathy?
one thing I want to add to that, because I work with a lot of clients who are like, I don't know my thing. I don't know. Just start trying things, because like a GPS can't tell you which way to go until you start moving. If you go and you're like, I hate that thing. Okay, don't do that. Do something else. But kind of tune in.
Mind.
Yeah, you get to change your mind. But like, go to one meetup and go, oh, I didn't like that, but I like this aspect of it.
That's such a great idea. You never really know what you like until you know what you don't like.
Yeah.
So just try stuff, be experimental and be an explorer.
Yeah, you get to constantly tune in and fine tune it and get closer and closer to who you are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Good.
So thanks for joining us today, and go out and find, what are your passions? What does your way look like? Because that's what the world needs more of.
Yeah.
It's each of us doing our own.
All lit up and awake.
Yes, because we give permission for other people to do the same thing for themselves.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys, for playing.
Oh,
We love you.
Thank
Yeah.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.